Walking carries benefits for cardiovascular health that nobody disputes. Yet here lies a truth that medical professionals rarely discuss openly with their patients. Walking fails dramatically when it comes to preventing the muscle loss that accelerates after 70 years of age. The activity itself presents no inherent danger, but the risk emerges when walking becomes the singular form of physical activity that seniors depend upon for maintaining their health and fitness. Physicians across multiple specialties now issue warnings that walking creates a dangerously false sense of protection in older adults. You experience feelings of being active and engaged. You perceive yourself as healthy and vital. You believe deeply that you are doing enough to maintain your physical capabilities and independence. Meanwhile, beneath the surface where you cannot see or feel what is happening, your muscle fibers are shrinking progressively day after day, week after week, month after month. The legs that carry you on those daily walks gradually weaken despite the activity. Your balance systems decline even as you walk confidently through your neighborhood. Your overall strength fades away slowly but relentlessly. The truly frightening aspect of this situation is that countless older adults walk every single morning with complete confidence, entirely unaware that they may still be losing muscle mass at nearly the identical rate as someone who engages in no physical activity whatsoever. Sarcopenia represents the medical terminology for age-related muscle loss, and this condition affects more than 1 in 3 people who have passed their 70th birthday. The statistics become even more alarming when examining adults past 80 years of age, where over half the population experiences this progressive muscle wasting. Yet walking alone barely trains or stimulates the specific muscle fibers responsible for generating power, maintaining stability, producing force, and enabling reaction speed when you need it most. Walking predominantly works the endurance systems of your body rather than building or maintaining strength. The activity does not rebuild your gluteal muscles or quadriceps in any meaningful way. It fails to increase or even maintain the fast-twitch muscle fibers that help you catch yourself when you stumble unexpectedly or stand up from low chairs without needing to push forcefully with your hands for assistance. This explains the puzzling phenomenon where many seniors can walk comfortably for miles without experiencing significant fatigue, yet feel their legs shake and tremble when attempting to climb just 2 flights of stairs or feel profound weakness when rising from the sofa after sitting for a period of time. The cardiovascular system remains active and functional through walking, but the muscular system continues fading and deteriorating underneath, hidden from view until a moment of crisis reveals the weakness. Let me show you the 5 exercises that seniors must incorporate into their routines instead of relying on walking alone if they genuinely want to stop muscle loss, rebuild diminished strength, and maintain the independence they value. The first exercise on this list possesses the documented ability to reverse age-related decline faster than researchers initially expected based on their preliminary studies and hypotheses. The 5th exercise that physicians now recommend prioritizing over walking for maintaining muscle mass throughout the body is the wall push-up. Before dismissing this movement as too elementary or insufficiently challenging, consider what researchers at McMaster University discovered when they conducted comprehensive studies examining upper body strength in adults over 70 years of age. Their findings revealed something striking about the consequences of upper body weakness. People who lost significant strength in their chest, shoulder, and arm muscles were 60% more likely to struggle with fundamental daily activities like opening jars that require grip and pushing force, carrying groceries from the car to the kitchen, or even pushing themselves up from bed in the morning when rising to start their day. The wall push-up specifically targets your pectoralis major muscle, which represents the main chest muscle responsible for pushing movements. The exercise simultaneously engages your anterior deltoids located in the front portions of your shoulders, along with your triceps muscles at the back of your arms. These 3 muscle groups work together in coordinated fashion every single time you push open a heavy door at a building entrance, lift something onto a high shelf in your kitchen or garage, or brace yourself against a fall when you lose your balance. What makes the wall push-up particularly brilliant as an exercise intervention for older adults is that it provides sufficient resistance to trigger what scientists call muscle protein synthesis, which represents the biological process your body uses to repair damaged muscle tissue and build new muscle fibers. while simultaneously protecting your joints from the excessive stress and impact that traditional floor push-ups create on wrists, elbows, and shoulders. To perform this exercise correctly and safely, you want to stand approximately 2 feet away from a sturdy wall, placing your palms flat against the surface at shoulder height and positioned slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Your fingers should point upward toward the ceiling or angle slightly outward, whatever feels most natural and comfortable for your wrist given your individual anatomy and flexibility. Now, here is where most people make critical errors that undermine the effectiveness of the movement. They rush through the repetitions without control and consequently miss all the muscle-building benefits that proper execution provides. Instead, you want to slowly bend your elbows and lower your chest toward the wall over a count of 3 full seconds, maintaining your body in a straight line from your head through your spine to your heels without allowing your hips to sag forward or your bottom to stick out backward. When your nose nearly touches the wall surface, pause deliberately for 1 full second, then push yourself back to the starting position over another 3-second count using controlled force. This slow, controlled tempo is what researchers call time under tension, and a study published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that slower repetitions produced nearly double the muscle-building response compared to fast, bouncy movements that rely on momentum. Start with 2 sets of 10 repetitions, resting for 60 seconds between sets to allow partial recovery, and aim to work up to 3 sets of 15 repetitions over several weeks as your strength improves. As you progressively get stronger, you can increase the challenge systematically by moving your feet further from the wall, which increases the angle of your body and therefore increases the amount of body weight your muscles have to push against gravity. The beauty of this built-in progression system is that you can eventually work your way to doing push-ups against a kitchen counter, then against a sturdy chair, and perhaps one day even from the floor if that becomes your personal goal. Research published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning found that adults over 65 who performed wall push-ups 3 times per week for 12 weeks increased their pushing strength by 42%. More importantly, from a functional perspective, they reported significantly less difficulty with everyday tasks that required upper body effort, like pushing shopping carts, moving furniture, or helping grandchildren on playground equipment. The 4th exercise that outperforms walking for preventing muscle loss is the chair squat, and this movement targets what researchers at the University of Pittsburgh called the most important muscle group for predicting longevity in older adults. Your quadriceps muscles, those large muscles on the front of your thighs, work in conjunction with your gluteal muscles, the powerful muscles in your buttocks, and your hamstrings at the back of your thighs to form a chain of strength that literally determines whether you can stand up from a toilet, climb a flight of stairs, or recover your balance when you stumble on uneven ground. A fascinating study published in the British Medical Journal tracked over 4,000 adults aged 50 and older and found that those who could stand up from a seated position on the floor without using their hands for support lived significantly longer than those who could not perform this task. The chair squat builds exactly this kind of functional lower body power, and it does so in a way that is completely safe for people with knee concerns because the chair provides a built-in safety net that prevents falling or losing control. To perform the chair squat properly, start by standing in front of a sturdy chair with your feet hip-width apart and your toes pointing slightly outward at about a 30-degree angle, which is the natural alignment that allows your knees to track properly over your feet without creating harmful stress on the joint structures. Extend your arms straight out in front of you at shoulder height, which serves as a counterbalance and helps you maintain an upright torso throughout the movement. Now, here is the key technical detail that separates an effective chair squat from a useless one that provides minimal benefit. You want to initiate the movement by pushing your hips backward as if you were trying to sit on a chair that is positioned slightly too far behind you rather than by bending your knees first. This hip hinge pattern engages your gluteal muscles and hamstrings from the very beginning of the movement and takes pressure off your knee joints where many older adults experience pain or arthritis. Lower yourself slowly over 3 seconds until your bottom just touches the chair's surface. But here's the crucial part that many people miss. Do not actually sit down and rest your weight on the chair. The moment you feel the chair beneath you, immediately reverse direction and stand back up by driving through your heels and squeezing your gluteal muscles at the top. If this feels too challenging at first, it is perfectly acceptable to sit down completely and then stand back up, and you can place your hands on the armrest for assistance as you build strength gradually. Research from Tufts University showed that even this assisted version produced meaningful increases in leg strength and balance in adults over 80 years of age. As you progress over weeks and months, you can make the exercise more challenging through several methods, including holding a water bottle or light dumbbell against your chest, pausing for 2 seconds with your bottom hovering just above the chair to increase time under tension, or using a lower chair to increase the range of motion your muscles must work through. The Journal of the American Geriatric Society published findings showing that seniors who performed chair squats regularly demonstrated a 51% improvement in their ability to rise from a seated position, and this single improvement correlated with a 40% reduction in fall risk. Aim for 2 sets of 8 repetitions to start, working up to 3 sets of 12 as your strength improves, and always prioritize controlled, deliberate movement over trying to complete as many repetitions as possible. The third exercise that doctors now prioritize over walking for combating muscle loss is the standing heel raise, and this simple movement addresses what the American Physical Therapy Association calls one of the most overlooked muscle groups in senior fitness. Your calf muscles, specifically the gastrocnemius and soleus, are responsible for propelling you forward with every step you take, for stabilizing your ankle when you walk on uneven surfaces, and for generating the explosive power needed to catch yourself when you lose balance. A study published in Age and Aging Journal found that calf strength decreased by approximately 50% between ages 20 and 80, and this decline strongly predicted both walking speed and fall risk in older adults. What makes the standing heel raise so effective is that it isolates these muscles in a way that walking simply cannot accomplish. When you walk, your calf muscles contract briefly with each step, but the load is so light and the contraction so short that it fails to provide the stimulus needed for muscle maintenance or growth. The heel raise, by contrast, requires your calves to lift your entire body weight against gravity, creating the mechanical tension that triggers your muscles to adapt and grow stronger. To perform this exercise safely and effectively, stand behind a sturdy chair or near a wall with your fingertips lightly touching the surface for balance support, not for pushing yourself up, but simply for stability. Position your feet hip-width apart with your toes pointing straight ahead. Now, slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as they will comfortably go over a count of 2 seconds. At the top of the movement, you should feel a strong contraction in both calf muscles. Hold this position for 1 full second, actively squeezing the muscles. Then lower your heels back down to the floor over a slow count of 3 seconds. This eccentric phase, the lowering portion, is actually where much of the muscle-building magic happens, and researchers at the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that emphasizing the lowering portion of calf exercises produced superior strength gains in older adults compared to focusing on the raising portion alone. Complete 2 sets of 12 repetitions to start, and as you build strength and confidence, you can progress by performing the exercise on one leg at a time, which doubles the load on each calf and dramatically increases the challenge. The second most important exercise for reversing age-related muscle loss is the step-up, and this movement earned its position because it so perfectly mimics the real-world challenge that causes more older adults to lose their independence than almost any other physical limitation. Climbing stairs becomes increasingly difficult with age, and a sobering study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that the inability to climb stairs independently was the single strongest predictor of nursing home admission in adults over 75. The step-up trains your body to lift its own weight against gravity using the exact same muscle activation pattern required for stair climbing. And it does so in a controlled environment where you can adjust the difficulty to match your current ability. This exercise targets your quadriceps, gluteal muscles, and hamstrings while also demanding significant contribution from your core muscles and the small stabilizer muscles around your hips and ankles, making it what exercise scientists call a compound functional movement that builds real-world capability rather than isolated gym strength. To perform the step-up properly, you need a stable platform that is between 4 and 8 inches high, and this could be a sturdy wooden box, a thick exercise step, or even the bottom stair in your home if you have a railing to hold for support. Stand facing the step with your feet together and your hands either on your hips or holding a railing or chair for balance assistance. Place your entire right foot flat on top of the step, making sure your whole foot is on the surface and not hanging off the edge. Now, here comes the part where most people cheat and miss the benefits. You want to drive through your right heel and step up onto the platform by straightening your right leg, but you must do this without pushing off with your left foot on the ground. Your right leg should do all the work. Bring your left foot up to meet your right foot on top of the step. Stand tall for a moment. Then slowly lower your left foot back to the ground, followed by your right foot. That represents one repetition on the right side, and you will want to complete all your repetitions on one side before switching to the other leg. The number one exercise that doctors now recommend over walking for preventing and reversing muscle loss after 70 is the sit-to-stand movement, and the research supporting this exercise is so compelling that it has fundamentally changed how geriatric specialists approach strength training in older adults. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 3,000 adults aged 70 and older for 6 years and found that those who could complete the most sit-to-stand repetitions in 30 seconds had a 60% lower risk of death from any cause compared to those with the weakest performance. The sit-to-stand exercise differs from the chair squat in one crucial way. Rather than hovering above the chair and reversing direction, this exercise involves fully sitting down and coming to a complete stop before standing back up, which requires your muscles to generate force from a dead stop position without the benefit of momentum or elastic energy. This makes the exercise significantly more challenging and more effective for building what researchers call starting strength, the ability to generate force from a stationary position, which is exactly what you need when you want to get up from a couch, rise from a dining chair, or lift yourself out of a car seat. To perform this exercise for maximum benefit, sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor about hip-width apart and your knees bent at approximately 90 degrees. Scoot forward on the chair so that your bottom is near the front edge, which positions your center of gravity closer to where it needs to be for standing. Cross your arms over your chest, which prevents you from using your arms for assistance and ensures your legs do all the work. Lean your torso slightly forward, bringing your shoulders over your toes. Then drive through your heels and stand up completely, finishing by squeezing your gluteal muscles and standing tall. Now, here's the critical part. Lower yourself back down slowly over a count of 3 to 4 seconds, controlling your descent rather than just plopping back into the chair. The controlled lowering is essential because it creates eccentric muscle contraction, which research shows is particularly effective for building muscle in older adults. Sit completely down. Pause for 1 full second to eliminate any bouncing or momentum. Then repeat. If you cannot stand without using your arms at first, that is completely fine. Place your hands on the armrests or on your thighs and use as much arm assistance as needed. Then gradually reduce this assistance as you grow stronger. Begin with 2 sets of 5 repetitions if you need arm assistance or 2 sets of 8 if you can stand unassisted, and work toward 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions over time. Every time you sit down on your couch, in a dining chair, or at your desk, you have an opportunity to practice a slow, controlled sit-to-stand movement, and research shows that these accumulated repetitions throughout the day are just as effective as a single dedicated exercise session. The key now is taking action because knowledge without application changes nothing. Start with just 2 or 3 of these exercises, performing them every other day to allow your muscles time to recover and grow between sessions.